Danger Dolan.
From celebrity lookalike cases to Apple-causing porn addictions, we count 15 of the dumbest lawsuits of all time.
Number 15.
Conspiracy to OD. In 2011, 17-year-old Scott Simon went to a New Jersey party where he was offered a Xanax tablet that had been stolen from a local pharmacy. He, of course, overdosed, fell into a coma, and suffered permanent nerve damage. Scott's parents decided that the party host, his out-of-town parents, every other kid attending the party, the pharmacy, and the Xanax manufacturer were responsible. It definitely wasn't poor decision-making or shit parenting. As we all know, this is the age of not taking responsibility for our own actions. So a settlement totaling $4.1 million was required to be paid by the pharmacy and the party host's parents.
Number 14.
A woman sued Universal Studios because its horror-themed attraction caused her emotional distress. Cleanthy Peters and her granddaughter had just exited a ride when a chainsaw-wielding employee leapt out of the shadows and gave chase. The pair genuinely believed Leatherface was attacking them right there out in the open. You know, outside that park ride that's blatantly marketed as the scariest theme park experience you'll ever have. They ran screaming from the ride and slipped on a wet spot, leaving them exposed to the chainsaw-brandishing horror cliché, who was probably just a work experience kid trying to pick up extra acting credits. The woman sued the park for $15,000, but fortunately, the gods of common sense were looking down that day, and her case was unsuccessful.
Number 13.
Suicidal Person sues train company. Milo Stevens Jr. was an emotionally fraught man who tried committing suicide by jumping in front of a subway train as it was pulling into a Manhattan station in 1977. He lived through the ordeal, but was horribly maimed. Months later, his family found a personal injury lawyer, with $ for eyes, who helped them successfully sue the New York City Transit Authority for $650,000. The lawyer argued that the train driver did not slow down in time, so was to blame for injuring Milo, who had willingly hurtled himself into harm's way. Despite the huge financial win, Milo tried to kill himself again in the same way years later. He clearly needed professional help.
Number 12.
Juanita Young versus Free Cookies. Two teenage Good Samaritans had a $900 lawsuit filed against them for leaving free cookies on their neighbors' doorsteps. Wanting to brighten their neighbors' days, Lindsay Zaletti and Taylor Ostergaard went around their neighborhood knocking on doors and leaving small cookie packages. However, when they reached 49-year-old Juanita Young's house, the sound of their knocking apparently drove her into an anxiety attack, causing her to phone the police, who eventually took her to the hospital. After, the girls apologized for causing unintentional distress and even offered to pay Juanita's hospital bills. Juanita instead decided to take them to court and successfully sued them for $900. I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Number 11.
Negligent texting. Two New Jersey motorcycle passengers were seriously injured in a distracted driving accident. The man responsible was looking at his mobile phone when he should have been driving, but the victims didn't just sue him, they also sued the woman sending him text messages. Not sure why they stopped there. They probably should have sued the phone manufacturer, and maybe even the makers of the bike for not having the foresight to install a deployable force field. Why not sue Alex Bell for inventing the phone in the first place? Ignorant bastard must have known this would happen. Fortunately, the judge dismissed the sender of the text message and explained that GPS devices, billboards, and push notifications from news websites are all distractions that drivers hold the responsibility to avoid.
Number 10.
A Nebraskan state senator sued God for, and I quote, directly and proximately causing inter alia fearsome floods, egregious earthquakes, horrendous hurricanes, terrifying tornadoes, pestilential plague. Nice touch with the alliteration. He also issued a cease and desist order to God, complaining he must bow to the law and cease making terroristic threats. Apparently, the lawsuit was filed to protest local laws restricting members of the public from filing frivolous lawsuits. It is our right as citizens to file frivolous lawsuits. I want to sue that raindrop. I did not authorize it to fall on me. The defendant God could not be reached for comment.
Number 9.
Hellmanns mayonnaise. Will the real mayonnaise please stand up? Unilever, the parent company of mayonnaise manufacturers Hellmanns, sued imposter company Hampton Creeks for calling their spread just mayo, when it uses plant products instead of chicken eggs. Unilever contends that by calling their distinctly non-mayo product just mayo, Hampton Creek is guilty of false advertising and is stealing market share that belongs to Hellmanns. According to Unilever, federal regulators define mayonnaise as a spread that contains eggs, so an egg-free version is clearly an affront to mankind.
Number 8.
The Don't Call Me Susan Boyle case. In 2013, an American advertising executive sued her boss for £3.9 million after he accused her of looking like Scottish singing sensation Susan Boyle. 45-year-old Laura Z. from New Jersey, wow, how many of these are there, said her prick of a boss had spent years mocking her about her age and weight, one occasion saying that Fatty was here having a cupcake. The constant harassment allegedly took a toll on Miss Zeev's health, eventually leading to a near-fatal brain hemorrhage in April 2011. Suing for workplace bullying is one thing, but can we leave Susan Boyle out of this? She's a beautiful woman.
Number 7.
Man sues dry cleaner for losing pants. In 2007, Washington Judge Roy Pearson sued a family-owned dry cleaning business for $67 million after they allegedly lost his pants. By failing to return the correct pants to him, custom cleaners betrayed their apparently legally binding promise of guaranteed satisfaction. Pearson endured mental suffering, inconvenience, and discomfort because of the mix-up, and told the judge, "Never before in recorded history have a group of defendants engaged in such misleading and unfair business practices." Seriously, he actually said that. Life without pants must have been hell. Maybe they were his only pair. Fortunately, the presiding judge ruled in favor of the defendant. Some speculate shady dealings may have swayed her decision, like an offer of free dry cleaning for life. Her robes were suspiciously clean.
Number 6.
In 2013, homeless man Bernard Bay filed a lawsuit against his parents claiming that their emotional neglect had caused his current situation. He requested $200,000 for emotional damages, stating he felt unloved and abandoned. Bernard ran away from home at age 12 and has lived in and out of jail for nearly 20 years. In addition to the $200,000, Bernard also wanted his parents to mortgage their home and purchase 2 Domino's pizza franchises to be run by the entire family. Look, his dream is to make poor-quality pizza with his papa, okay? The final heartbreaking twist was that Bernard was willing to drop the lawsuit if his family would just sit down and have dinner with him.
Number 5.
Batman Identity Thief. Everyone knows about Batman, that beautiful riverside Turkish city. Black suit and cape. What are you talking about? Oh, I see the confusion. So apparently, Batman is also a multi-million-dollar film and comic book franchise. This was a problem for Hüseyin Kalkin, the mayor of the actual Turkish city, Batman. In 2008, Kalkin sued Christopher Nolan and Warner Brothers for using his city's name without attaining permission. He claims the city should receive royalties for the use of its name, and that residents should be compensated for the psychological damage that's been caused. This guy seems to have more in common with the Joker.
Number 4.
Man sues beer company for not bringing fantasies to life. In 1991, Richard Overton sued Anheuser-Busch, the brewing company responsible for Bud Light, everyone's favorite goat piss, for false and misleading advertising under Michigan state law. The complaint specifically referenced their ads, which involved fantasies of beautiful women in tropical settings who came to life for 2 men driving a Bud Light truck. Mr. Overton also claimed to have suffered emotional distress, mental injury, and financial loss in excess of $10,000 due to the misleading Bud Light ads. All claims were dismissed.
Number 3.
Hot coffee. In this famous 90s case, 79-year-old Stella Liebeck sued McDonald's restaurants after she spilled her hot cup of coffee on her lap while leaving the drive-thru. Liebeck scalded her thighs, buttocks, and groin and was hospitalized for 8 days. She had to undergo skin grafting and medical treatment. Although the cup featured a warning label and common sense dictates that putting a hot drink on your knees instead of in a cup holder is foolish, Liebeck blamed the fast food giant. Her lawsuit was based on the claim that the coffee was too hot and more likely to cause injury than coffee served at other establishments. Liebeck won her case and was awarded $200,000 in compensatory damages and $480,000 in punitive damages. Imagine all the iced coffee you could buy with that.
Number 2.
Unsolicited Erection. In 2013, Nashville attorney Chris Seaver sued Apple for selling products that gave him unrestricted access to pornography. Apparently, Seaver had tried to visit Facebook.com but accidentally typed fuckbook.com into the address bar. Classic excuse. A few curious minutes later, Seaver became hooked on hot teenage girls and his suddenly full-fledged porn addiction ruined his marriage. This left him baying for blood, or if blood wasn't available, money, and he filed a complaint seeking $75,000 in damages. He claimed Apple products had interfered with his marital contract and should come manufactured with porn filters. Someone should sue his mother because he wasn't manufactured with a working brain.
Number 1.
Man sues Michael Jordan for resemblance. Idiot Alan Heckard sued basketball legend Michael Jordan for an absurd $416 million because he claimed Jordan had stolen his likeness. For years, Heckard has had to deal with defamation, permanent injury, emotional pain, and suffering. And that's not even mentioning Space Jam. Heckard also sued Nike for the same amount because, as he claims, they made Michael Jordan one of the most recognizable men in the world. Heckard had no lawyer help him, but had enough money and legal rights to file the case and bring it to a judge. Fortunately, the lawsuit was dropped, probably because the countersuit from Nike would have knocked him into last week. Why didn't this idiot just cash in on their similarities? You know, host some fake autograph signings or forge some bad checks. What an amateur.
That's it for this countdown.
And have a good one!